Hello and welcome to Hot Money Technicals on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. This is a show which gets you a complete wrap of all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. I'm Darshan Mehta. Let's welcome our experts then, Venkatraman of Chart Advice, Amit Shah of Indiabulls Ventures, and Aditya Agarwala of Securities join us on the show. Many thanks to all of my guests for joining me. Before we begin with the show with our analyst, let's get in Yash Upadhyay, who has a chart on Tata Global Beverages. Good afternoon, Yash. What does the chart indicate?
So there has been a considerable amount of weakness in Tata Global Beverages, not just in today's day of trade, but over the last couple of weeks as well. And there's a negative call coming in on Tata Global Beverages, and we've used the ADX indicator, which is a directional indicator. Now, a couple of factors to keep in mind. In the bottom panel, the minus DMI line that has given a crossover is crossed above the plus DMI line, as well as the white line, which is the ADX value line, that too is above the mark of 20. With the negative crossover taking place, the weakness in the price trend, in fact at its current market price of 247, it is testing support at where its 50-day moving average is placed around 246.5 or so. So clearly the trend seems to be on the lower side for Tata Global Beverages, with the negative crossover also indicating that we could see some amount of weakness furthermore in Tata Global.
Is there historical evidence indicating that whenever this crossover happens, how much does it fall?
So Darshan, 3 out of the last 4 times that the indicator has given a negative crossover, on an average over the next 1 month period, the stock has fallen close to 8%.
8%, okay, that's quite a bunch. Thanks so much for that, Yash. Tata Global 247, what should one do?
Yeah, the charts are clearly indicating a decline, and after the recent consolidation around the 260 levels were broken, the chart is headed for more downside, and like the ADX indicator is also pointing out, the momentum is definitely on the bearish side, and one could expect a drop towards the region of 225 to 220.
At this level, should one short?
Yeah, one should short at this level.
Amit, agree?
Yeah, I would agree, because the bullish target that the stock had for an inverse head and shoulder, that is done. So probably a move is coming to an end, and also we are seeing a nice few days of range breakdown on the downside. So a move towards 230 on the downside is looking likely. I'll keep a stop above 263 for this.
Okay, what about you? Would you also short?
Yes, I will short below 245. There is more weakness in the stock. 230 will be my first target. 225 will be my second target. Ample evidences which suggest that the weakness is there in the stock and it should continue on the downside.
Okay, so it's a consensus view that's coming in. Tata Global Beverages is a short, is a stock that looks to be shorted at this point of time at current market price with much more lower targets. But let's begin with the first chart of the day. That's a chart that Raja has put up. It's on Bajaj Auto. Auto as a pack has seen a lot of weakness. Are you seeing more weakness coming in Bajaj Auto?
Yeah, the auto sector, like you rightly said, it has been witnessing continuous weakness. And looking at the chart structure of Bajaj Auto, you can clearly see it is making a lower high. And the lower high is clearly signaling that there is more pressure. And the selling pressure is seen, and when you can notice the candle formation here, they are clearly large body candles, which is indicating weakness, and every attempt to rise is being met with weakness. So the overall structure suggests that we could witness more downside, and the overall momentum is also gathering steam, and at every possible opportunity there is selling pressure witnessed here. And after a consolidation on the charts around 2690, there was a strong breakdown, and the breakdown which we witnessed from here has been quite steady. And looking at the overall market scenario, also I feel that it could travel further towards the region of around 2500.
Explain the ADX. How does that work, and what are you seeing here?
Yeah, so the ADX DMI setup has got 3 lines here. So this white line is actually indicating the strength of the momentum, and the red line indicates the negative pressure. So the red line is now dominant, and the strength is suggesting that the dominance of the bears is much more in Bajaj Auto.
So the white line is saying there is more momentum on the downside.
The white line is indicating the strength.
Strength in the short.
Strength on any direction.
Okay.
So right now the red line is on top.
So it's showing strength on the short side.
Strength on the short side.
Okay, 25.77. Should one short at this level?
Yeah, you could short now. You could use rally towards 2650 to 2670 as an opportunity, and keep a stop loss about 2720, because the drop could be immediate target is around 2500 and a possible towards 2450 also.
Okay, thanks so much for that, Raja. Amit, would you short Bajaj Auto?
Yes, I would actually. Even I am covering one of the auto stocks, even for a big downside. The auto sector has been a big laggard and almost the entire sector is under pressure, you know. So on the same lines, also Bajaj Auto, you know, from the lows, if we connect a trend line, so it has broken a 7-8 years trend line on the downside. It retested it successfully and again is coming down. So it's showing all classical signs, you know, of further correction ahead. I would, I mean, one can even short here or wait for some pullbacks to short towards, you know, 26, 50, 60 kind of levels. I'm expecting, you know, levels of about 2450 to 2400 on the downside.
Okay, what about you, Aditya? Would you have the same view?
There is weakness, but the fact to be noticed out here is stock has witnessed one-way correction from 3100 down to 2570 almost. And on the downside, my immediate target will be 2550, which is 20 rupees, 20-25 rupees from here. So if one wants to play for that small target of 20-25 rupees, yes, definitely one can go ahead and short, because at 2550 I see ample support. If I join the lows from 2011 onwards, there's an upward sloping trend line at 2550, which Bajaj Auto has taken support on.
No, but what's your overall trend? Let's say 2550, you think someone should buy at that level or short at a higher level for the counter to come?
So if there's a pullback in the stock, definitely one can go ahead and short at higher levels, or around 2550 you have to witness how the stock behaves. If it breaks below 2550 and closes below that on a monthly basis, then definitely there's a entire trend change from 2011, which the stock had witnessed one way up move. In that case, definitely stock will head much higher, much lower to levels of 2420, 2400 as well. But 2550 for me will be a very crucial zone to watch out. If that is held on to it, if the stock manages to hold on to it on a monthly basis, then the stock can actually witness an up move to levels of again 2900 to about 2950.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. Let's start with the second stock, and that is a chart on Strides Shasun, Strides Pharmaceuticals now. Amit has that view. Are you seeing more selling pressure that will come in?
Yes, actually, you know, in spite of Nifty, though recently the markets have come off a bit, but autos, pharma, they are the, you know, the weakest pockets in the market. So individually, I mean, entire pharma pack mainly is not doing well. If you see the behavior of the stock, this first leg of fall, then you know, almost a double bottom, a nice consolidation, a breakdown post that. This was also a sharp decline, and post this sharp decline, if you see, the stock had got into a 10-month range. And not even having the energy to actually retrace a lot, you know. So I mean, the retracement is also quite shallow, which indicates the underlying weakness in the stock. And now recently we have broken down from this range, you know, of 10 months. My sense is this stock is headed much lower. The sector also has a lot of pressure on the downside. So I'm expecting the stock to head towards 290 to 305 on the downside, but I won't even be surprised if this stock stays under even further pressure beyond the targets.
Okay, so you're seeing close to a 50-60 rupee decline in the counter.
Yes.
How soon can this come?
This can happen fairly quickly. I am recommending to actually go short, you know, towards levels of about 390 and keep a stop of about 440. So basically, sell on rise is a good idea here, and keeping a stop of about 440 and 290 is something that I expect on the downside, but I won't be surprised if it even corrects further. I think pharma sector is still not out of the woods, and the declines could take much time to settle down.
Okay, thanks for that view. Raja, what's your view on Strides?
Yeah, I agree with him. The charts of Strides are definitely on the weaker side, and after moving in a channel formation, even on the higher time frames, we are actually witnessing a channel breakdown, and the steady decline which we are seeing is also coupled with fresh sell in the MACD. So all this actually projects the targets of around 120 points from here. Whereas 120 points could be a big take right now, but then the stock is currently a sell, and any move below 350 should definitely be taken with a stop loss at 370 for a drop towards 250 as a potential target for a 1 to 2 month play.
Okay, what about you? Do you also see weakness in Strides?
Definitely, there is massive weakness in the stock on higher time frame chart, on lower time frame chart. Whichever time frame I move to, there's weakness in the stock. My first target will be 330. If 330 is taken out, I would agree stock can slide all the way down to 260, 280. Gradually, it will continue its downward momentum unless we see a reversal. I feel the stock will continue its downward trajectory.
So it's a consensus negative call coming in on Strides, and remember, it has been plagued with fundamentals issues also. in terms of warning letter for some of the key plants. The next chart is from Aditya, and it's on Wipro. Wipro's been doing well post the numbers, opened weak but managed to move up in trade. Are you looking at a bullish or a bearish trend here?
It's a bearish trend on Wipro. This is on a very high time frame chart. This is a monthly time frame chart, and I have drawn a parallel channel from 2008 2007 onwards on Wipro. And what I see is, so this is the RSI on the bottom, and on the top we have a price channel. So what I see is, if I join the highs, the major highs of Wipro tends to take resistance at this trend line. It has happened in 2015, it has happened in 2014. If I go back, it has happened in 2010. If I further go back, it has happened again on 2007. So now again the stock has witnessed resistance around the upper end of the channel, and what I see is similar highs close to about 300 back to back 3 months, and from there stock has witnessed a breakdown. If I move, this is a channel which the stock has already broken down. In trade yesterday, we witnessed a pullback. It tested the breakdown channel level, and again it's resumed its downward trajectory today. Now what is very interesting is the RSI on the lower panel. If we zoom into the RSI, watch this level very closely. Whenever RSI has tested these levels of 70-75, we see a topping out pattern, a topping out formation on Wipro. It has done right now. If we move back to 2013-14, when the stock did witness a correction, the similar resistance was witnessed out here. Again, I move back to 2010, you see again 70-75 is acting as a resistance. If I move further back to 2007, again we see RSI facing resistance around 70-75 zone.
Okay.
So there are multiple evidences which suggest that stock is facing resistance at current levels, and almost the up move is done. We can see a sizable correction in the stock. One can go short between 270 to 266. Right now it's already broken down from 266 also. So any incremental rise to 270, 266, 268 will be a good shorting opportunity. The first support I see is at 240. The next 250, sorry, which is this support zone. If it breaks below that, it can slide all the way down to 240 as well. And mind you, I won't be surprised if stock tests also 200 over a period of 4 to 5 months. I will put a stop somewhere around 280 for the trade and look for a bearish trade out here.
Okay, so that's a negative view that's coming in. Thanks so much for that, Aditya. Amit, what's your sense on Wipro?
Wipro, yes, below 280 stock has corrected a bit, but structurally, it is still not in such bad shape. So I would actually avoid a short on Wipro. I would give it a pass. I would not short the stock.
For you.
Yes.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm in line with the view here. Around 255 levels.
View or
Amit's view.
Okay.
That around 255 levels is forming a good support on the weekly charts. It's a good value area there. So if there's no closing below 255, I would not initiate any short. So actually, if you want to initiate, then it could be a good contra bet here, and actually you could go long at the current levels with a stop loss below 252 or 53.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in Wipro. We have 3 different views on Wipro, so only time will tell what will happen with Wipro. But let's start with the second round. This time, Raja has a chart on United Spirits. Let's pull up the chart. Over the past few days has been doing quite well. The numbers will come out very, very soon. The expectation is of a strong number. But yes, it's a positive trend, I can see.
Yeah. So looking at the overall chart structure, the chart had consolidated for a while. And then now it has been making higher lows. And yesterday we witnessed a strong breakout, and that was the recommendation for a buy. If you see here, the previous zones of resistances, they were negated yesterday, and then there was a positive follow through. So we need to see a movement above 595 for the trade to initiate, because that's when it will also give a nice trend line breakout. And adding to my structure was the MACD indicator here. MACD indicator has also flashed a buy opportunity. So currently the market is...
you mean the blue line going above the white line?
Yeah, the blue line going above the white line is a signal that there's a positive trend in this counter. So any move above 595 should be taken as a buy opportunity here. Currently the market is experiencing some weakness, but if you want to look at the buy side, you should track this.
Will you buy only above 595 or buy at this
I would
level?
buy above 595.
Okay, it's a momentum trade that you're looking at. Okay, thanks so much for that, Raja. Amit, would you buy United Spirits?
Stock, has been in a sideways range for quite some time. Recently, it has just attempted to break out of that range, and again, somewhere around that range, again, we are seeing some sort of pressure. But the stock has actually not been able to close above its 200 EMA for quite some time. It has attempted several times, but has not. But so far in this move, we are trading above that 200 moving average. So I would look to buy on a decline around 570. Keep a stop below 550 and look for a move up. Once it crosses again the 610, we could see levels of about 660 on the upside.
Okay, and what about you, Aditya?
So on a smaller time frame charts, stock is attempting making higher highs, higher lows on a constant basis. I wouldn't shy away from taking a trade out here. Close to about 580, I would be more comfortable taking a trade. Put a stop somewhere around 560 and look for an upward target of 640, 660. I think stock can resume its upward trajectory if it's hold 580 zone. That's very crucial.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. Before we come to the second chart, the markets have moved to the lowest point of the day. The Nifty and the Bank Nifty are down over 1% each. The Sensex has now breached past the 1% mark. So there is clear selling evident in the market. The next chart we have is a chart on Bosch. Let's pull up the chart. Amit, what are you sensing? Let's wait for the chart to come up.
So, this is not a stock which comes up regularly on the radar, and this is not even for the trading idea, This is more of a sell call if one is holding it in a portfolio.
It's a positional call.
It's a big positional call. See, what we are seeing here is probably, I think this is a linear chart, hence it's not showing. Can we have a log version of it?
No, I don't think that's possible.
Okay, anyway. So basically this is a big trend which does not appear on this linear scale. But what we are seeing here is a good 13 years of an uptrend. Okay. Now, in this phase, this is almost a 4-year sideways trend, what we are seeing is sustained weakness across the board as far as autos is concerned. So, this stock also hints towards sizable downside. These sort of patterns do not form easily, and as and when they happen on the long-term charts, they are very, very strong signals that a sustained pain on the downside is very much possible. We can see a good, like good 2 years kind of phase where the stock steadily keeps on grinding down. Yes, it could have in between periods of consolidation, up moves, etc. But the direction looks quite clearly on the downside. Even if we see within the sector, Eicher Motor had been holding its monthly 20 EMA for good 9-10 years, and post that it broke down from that zone somewhere around later part of 2018. Even Eicher Motors, a lot of stocks within the sector. Page Industries, of course, yeah, it's from different sector, but again, those high, high earnings kind of a stock where investors have built in a lot of positives. So these are the kind of stocks.
So what's the strategy? What should one do? That's what I want to
see. Basically,
should they short here?
Yes, of course. I mean, see, this is not a very liquid stock where you can really trade on a very, very, active basis. But yes, for someone, for an investor, they can actually even short here. For investors, they can even look for pullbacks towards 17,500, 18,000 kind of levels to actually exit the stock. We can see overall 10,000 kind of levels over the next 1 year plus kind of period.
Thanks so much for that, Amit. Raja, would you short Bosch? What's your sense?
Yeah, the chart definitely is indicating a weak structure, and a drop towards 14,000 is definitely on the cards. So one could actually look to initiate this as a short opportunity. You cannot initiate it on the futures, not there. But like long holders can exit, or those who want to buy can look at 14,000 levels to re-enter.
Yeah, it's more of a positional trade. Do you see that playing out? Do you see Bosch coming down to levels of 10,000 soon?
It would be a too brave a call to say that the stock will come down to 10,000, because there is support around 15,000 zone. So if 15,000 is broken on the downside, then it will slide all the way down to 13,000. So that is the next support zone. I wouldn't take a call of 10,000 yet on the stock, because stock has already corrected significantly from the peak. Yes, there is weakness, and you cannot short because it's not there in the futures. So people are looking to get into the stock, might just wait for some time for the stock to come down to levels of 15,000 or 13,000, then could be a good level to get into.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on Bosch, and the final chart from our analyst, it's on Zee Entertainment. Aditya, if you can.
So this is again a long-term time frame chart of Zee Entertainment. Stock has been buzzing of late significantly. Stock had witnessed a significant correction from the peak of 600, and now it's consolidating somewhere around 360. So let me take you back from where I've started. Again, this is from 2001, where the stock started its up move, and again I've drawn a parallel channel, a beautiful channel joining the lows and joining the highs. So I get a beautiful upward sloping channel, and stock did witness a significant resistance around those levels and has now come down to the support level of the channel, midpoint of the channel. Now what is very important to take a look at out here is RSI. Again, I'm focusing a lot on RSI today. If you take a look at this is 2009, 8, 9, when the stock had bottomed, formed a major bottom. From there stock witnessed an upward move. If you clearly take a look at the level from where RSI bottomed out was somewhere around 30-35. Now jumping back again to current situation when the stock has witnessed significant drop of 60%. Mind you, that point of time stock had corrected 70%, so and now we have corrected 60%, so we're almost in that vicinity of the correction. Again, RSI is close to about 30-35, and from there stock RSI is taking support. So my sense is stock might have formed a long-term bottom, and we can witness an up move in the stock at current levels of 360. These are good. Risk to reward is in favor of going long. One can accumulate at 360, close to about 3 on drop to 355 as well. I wouldn't shy away from accumulating the stock. My targets out here will be 420, 440. If it crosses 440, target can be as high as 480. Put a decent stop at 320, which is just 40 rupees downside, and a long-term trade can be taken.
Thanks so much for that, Aditya. Amit, Zee Entertainment, would you buy?
No, I would not actually, because I do see the stock. Yes, it's been holding to its panic lows, of about 288, and has been sort of trading sideways. But I was actually utilize up move on the stock, probably a big up move. Yes, so probably an up move can come towards maybe 410. But that is the zone I would look to positionally short the stock. Okay. I think the structure is quite weak, and one should utilize the up moves to build short positions on the downside.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, the stock is showing some signs of bottoming out around 320 to 330 region, and the stock is showing some signs of reversal on a higher time frame. So I could initiate a buy opportunity here for an upside towards 400.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. Yash comes back again with a chart on NMDC. Yash, what's the chart indicate?
There's a conditional buy coming on NMDC, and again we're using the trender indicator over here. Now, key to look at the stock at the price action over here. This is a daily 1-year time frame on NMDC, and it had hit the mark of close to around 118. Post that we saw a steep fall. There was a large gap down, post which the trender had flipped its color from green to red. It came down to levels of as low as 90, and then it made a significant recovery back to those levels. So this is like a double top sort of a formation. We saw some amount of weak hands coming out at those levels, and it corrected back to levels of almost 105. But since then it has been back on the higher side. There has been positive news flow as well supporting the move. So this is sort of a cup and handle formation, with the mark of 118 being the neckline of the cup and handle formation. So with the trender at 117.24, the stock is currently yet to take it out. It is within 1%. So watch out when the trender indicator is taken out on the upside. We will see it again flip its color from red to green. And historically, every time that has happened on either side, be it on the positive or the negative, the stock has went up significantly, because 5 out of the last 7 times, in fact, that the trender has given a positive crossover. The stock on an average over the next 1 month period has managed to run up close to 5.5%. So NMDC is at crucial levels to watch out for.
Okay, NMDC, thanks so much for that. Yash, would you buy NMDC?
Yeah, NMDC, I'll wait for the breakout. Any move above 118, I'll be tracking it for a buy opportunity.
Okay, what about you, Amit?
Yeah, I'll keep a stop below 110. This is one of the very few metal stocks which has a bit of positive trend. Most others have quite a weak trend. So yes, I'll keep a stop below 110 and play it for levels of about 124. Not much of an upside, but yeah, a tradable move.
Okay, Aditya, what's your sense?
A consensus buy, definitely.
Okay, consensus buy. And before we end the show, let's discuss some of the stocks that are buzzing in trade. Bajaj Finance is down almost 5%. A quick view from a guest what they believe is happening to Bajaj Finance. Aditya, I'll start with you. It's down 5%. buy here or short even further?
Too late to short. There is support between 3200 to 3100. I would look to buy around 3100. Immediate support is at 3260. If that is taken, support at 3260, stock can again get back to 3500. So at 3260, take a look, add minor position, and on decline to 3100, add complete position.
Amit, what should one do on Bajaj?
Yeah, I mean, it is showing weakness, and further move towards 3150 is very much possible. So I would look to actually go short on the stock and play for 3150.
Okay, Raja, what's your sense?
Yeah, the stock has covered the gap at around 3300. So one can expect a rally from here on. So use the rallies, and if weakness seen around 3500, can sell.
Okay, the next stock we want to discuss is Amara Raja Batteries, which is down another 5% in trade today, given the fact that lead prices are up and they have taken a price cut. Both Exide and Amara Raja are down in trade. Amit, Amara Raja, more weakness seen?
Yes, of course. You know, from the base of 650, 660, the stock has clearly broken down. I think even beyond the trading, this stock has got huge problems, and I think one can see a good even 15-20% kind of downside even from these levels.
Okay, Raja, what's your sense? Would you short?
Yeah, I would short Amara Raja Battery at this level. Because it's showing steady weakness in all time frames.
Okay, and Aditya, would you short?
Yeah, 560 is my target.
Okay, so it's a consensus short that's coming in. The last stock we want to discuss is ACC. Came out with strong set of numbers, just countered it, managed to rally, but then it moved lower on the anticipation that probably the second half won't be as strong for that. But it's in no lunch territory. Raja, I'll start with you. What should one do ACC?
Yeah, ACC
Long or
is in
short?
good. I'll go long with ACC. ACC has been showing some bit of recovery, and the results are also positive. So yes, the overall market is a little bit negative, but then the structure looks positive, and it could head towards the region of around 1700 in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, Amit, long short or hold?
No, sir.
Or
Today I think probably on good news, some distribution seems to have happened. You know, the way it is staying away from its day's highs, the volumes are higher, and it's trading towards the day's low. I would look for further downside, and I would actually avoid a long here in spite of the good news.
Okay, what about you?
I won't trade the stock. Let
would
it settle down now. Let it settle down close to about 1550, then probably I'll look at it.
Okay, so I think it's in no man's land at this point of time. Raja is indicating a bullish call. But with that, it's a wrap on today's edition of Hot Money. Let me thank my guests who've come in today. Aditya, Amit, Raja, thank you so much for coming in today. Ask BQ comes up next. Stay tuned to Bloomberg.